Hey guys, this is Eliza and welcome back to a new video. So it's been a while since I posted an actual video and not a vlog, but here we are. So I thought I'd do a video of just like things that I've been reading lately, enjoying, some things that I DNF, just like the highlights, I guess you could call it, of recently. And I'm going to talk about some TV shows that I've been watching and stuff like that as well, just because a wrap up would be too in depth to make up for everything that I've missed. So I just thought I'd put together a pile of books and talk about them, as well as some TV shows and stuff like that. And don't mind the plaiting tight plaits right now. It is ungodly humid and my hair is going so this is how I'm dealing with it. But it has been raining for like a week and a half straight and it's not expected to stop anytime soon. There is flooding. I'm not at work because I can't get to work. Currently filming this on midday on a Friday, but it is what it is, and luckily where I live we don't get directly affected by flooding. We get isolated, but the actual town does not flood and there's no houses in like town that flood or anything like that, so we're pretty lucky. But other places not so much. They're evacuating the depot where my dad works out of Brisbane. Well, he works here but they've got a depot in Brisbane. This morning they were evacuating that, trying to get one of the trucks out that was at a mechanic's place nearby that was going underwater for the second time. Yeah, so it's been a little bit chaotic, but I have time to film, so let's get into it and start talking about some of the things I've been reading and enjoying lately. So I've been on a huge graphic novel kick lately, so a fair few of these are graphic novels. I've also been on an Alice Oseman kick lately, because yeah, Heartstopper, and I reread on audiobook all of the books that are available on audiobook. So I'll talk about some of them. But firstly, let's just talk about some graphic novels I've been reading lately. So firstly, I read Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys during the Magical Readathon. And this one was fun. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I didn't really read a synopsis, so I didn't realize this was a fantasy, but it was quite enjoyable. And I ended up rating it 4.5 stars. And this one was like a roller coaster of emotions and I had a ton of fun reading it. And it's super short and also a graphic novel, so very easy, quick read. Then we have another one that I picked up at the same time, and that was Anne of West Philly by Noel Weir, illustrated by Maisha Haynes. And this one was so freaking wholesome. Like, I really enjoyed this one. This was another 4.5, but I think I enjoyed this one a little bit more than Girl on Fire. Like I said, very wholesome. This is about a girl who is in the foster care system and gets placed in a house in Philly, and it's her experience there, and I just loved it so freaking much. And I really love the art style. It's very colorful and fun, and highly recommend picking this one up. And from Big W, it's only like 12 bucks or something like that, so go check it out. Let's continue on the graphic novel route, shall we, with I read volumes 1 and 2 of Wires and Nerves by Marissa Meyer. So this is set in the same This is set in the same world, series, whatever, as the, oh my god, Lunar Chronicles. This is set after. This was quite enjoyable. I really liked that we followed Aiko, and for such a short series it dealt with a lot of stuff, a lot went on. It was really action-packed, really enjoyable, and I ended up rating them both 4 stars. Highly recommend checking them out if you're a fan of the Lunar Chronicles series. I don't think you could read this without reading the Lunar Chronicles because nothing is really explained, especially being a graphic novel. I suppose being a graphic novel, maybe you could get away with it because most graphic novels don't have a ton of world building, but definitely if you're going to or planning on reading the Lunar Chronicles, don't read these beforehand because it will spoil the whole thing. Like literally the entire plot. So I reread Heartstopper, of course. So obviously this represents all 4 volumes because I wasn't getting them all out, they're down there. I thought that worked. I'll talk about it in a minute, but I recently watched the Heartstopper show. Of course I did. So I had to reread the volumes. Actually, which should I do first? Did I watch it first or read it first? I can't remember what order I did it in. But either way, I reread all 4 volumes, and I also read everything up to, like, from the end of volume 4 up to where we're up to in the webcomic, which is only like probably like halfway through volume 5. Is up on online at the moment. It's not a ton, but I did read that as well and I really enjoyed it. I also went out and bought the hardcover. I like that it has green colors. Like the paperbacks are just black and white. Yeah, I'm slightly obsessed at the moment, which leads me into the next bit, which is, like I said, I read Oh my god, I can't pick it up. I reread on audiobook all of the Alice Oseman books. These are just the ones I own currently, but I have ordered them all. I'm going nuts, I don't know. But yeah, I have read all of these. So I read, let me just read it off my screen for a second. I read Radio Silence, then Solitaire, then I Was Born for This, then Loveless, then This Winter, and then Nick and Charlie. I have Nick and Charlie, I Was Born for This, Loveless, and Radio Silence. This is like the older hardcover. I think I did order the one that's matching to these, but I did order, I believe I ordered This Winter and Solitaire, and I think I got Radio Silence in the matching cover, so I have like a matching set. But yeah, I've been absolutely, it's fine. I've been absolutely obsessed ever since watching the TV show and rereading Heartstopper that I just went full ham and read them all. And then I also, literally while listening to them, designed bookmarks themed around this. So I will link the Osmanverse, which is a really weird word. Like, I've seen it, but I've only said it like a couple times, and to say it out loud, it just, I don't know, it's weird to say. But anyways, I will leave the Osmanverse collection linked down below, which has all the bookmarks and candles that are related to. I am also going to release candles for the rest of the characters, because at the moment I only have Nick, Charlie, and Nellie as candles, but I will be releasing candles for Tara, Darcy, Elle, Teo, so you can get the entire collection. So I will link the Osmanverse collection down below in case you're curious of the art products that we have available. But yes, I reread and binged this entire thing. So at the start of April, I read The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I listened to this one on audiobook and I fell in love with this book. This is the first 5-star I've given for 2022 so far, and it was absolutely amazing. I do plan to reread physically, which is why I went out and bought, well actually I saw it in Big W and it was like 20 bucks or something, so I went and bought it. Excuse me. But I'm absolutely obsessed. It is so freaking good. The audiobook is also really well done. This one follows dual timelines, which is why I actually picked it up, because one of the tropes for Magical Readathon was to read a book with your favorite trope. One of the challenges was to read a book with your favorite trope. And I went on to Discord or Facebook or somewhere, but I put up and said, I need books for this specific trope. And the trope was books that involve a mystery or a thriller mystery, like along those lines, that have dual timelines. So you're following in the past and now, or now in the future, or whatever it may be, and they're somehow linked. Because I absolutely love that. Like, Truly Devious, love that so much. So someone recommended this and it happened to be unscribed. Actually, it wasn't unscribed, no, I think I ended up buying it on Audible. Thank you to whoever that person was, because I absolutely loved it. So next we have one that I rated like slightly lowly. It was like a 3.5, and that was The Gilded Cage by Lynette Noni. This is the lowest I've ever rated a Lynette Noni book. I think it might have been a 4.5 or a 4 that I rated The Prison Healer, but this one was good. Do not get me wrong. I still enjoyed it. But it just was a little bit slow at the beginning. I did start it physically and it was just so slow and I could not get into it and I was struggling. I ended up swapping to the audiobook and the audiobook was really good. All the audiobooks for Lynette Noni's books are good, but yeah, I was just struggling, and because of that I rated it a little bit lower. It was a little bit predictable. It was still amazing. Love this. We're very keen for the third book. We'll definitely go and pick it up as soon as it comes out, but I just wasn't as impressed with this one as I was with The Prison Healer. But then also, when I think about it, The Prison Healer, I was like less impressed with it than I was in Madoran Chronicles. Like, I adore the Madoran Chronicles. They're literally right there. I don't know how many times I've read them, but they're absolutely amazing. I haven't reread them in a while though, but they're absolutely amazing. I haven't loved this series so far as much as I did the Madoran Chronicles, because I loved it from the very first book, like straight out the bat. Then we have my second 5-star book for the year so far, and that was The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axia O. I had no idea this existed before it came in my Fairy Loot, but I picked this one up on a whim. Like, it arrived in Fairy Loot and literally that day I picked it up, I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that night I picked it up. I was hooked. I read like the last half of it in like one night or something like that, and I absolutely loved it. Like, I ended up staying up to like 2 AM or something and absolutely adored it. It was so freaking good. I will say I'm not the hugest fan of the romance. It was very quick, kind of predictable, obvious. Besides that, I did really enjoy everything about it. The characters were really good. The world setting was really interesting. The plot was very fast paced, action packed. It was like relatively character driven, but fairly plot driven. Kind of character driven. Yeah, no, I think it's more character driven. But yeah, I ended up really, really enjoying it. Okay, so that's all the books that I had in my pile. Let me just check if there's none that I want to talk about that I like listen to on audiobook. That's right, I'll talk about some of the DNFs because I DNF'd 4 books in April. Firstly, I DNF'd The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwreck, which is the 3rd book to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. And I was just bored. I was bored. How far did I get into this? 156 pages? I was bored. Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the action pack that the other one did. It was fine. It's just, I was kind of bored. And like, I was listening to the audiobook and I didn't enjoy the audiobook that much. Like the narrator just wasn't quite it for me. So I DNF'd that one. Then I DNF'd Gallant by V.E. Schwab. And that one wasn't because it was bad. It was a little bit slow and I think I was just reading at the wrong time. Like, cause it's relatively heavy fantasy. At the time I was reading a lot of contemporaries and I'd literally just finished this, which was absolutely incredible. And I was reading a heap of contemporaries, reading graphic novels, and that's like a really long fantasy book. So it wasn't the right time. So I ended up putting that one down, but I will definitely be checking it out later. Then I like kind of DNF'd All Out, which is an anthology. I read the first 2 and I didn't really like either of them. The first, was it the first one or the second one? One of them was like, hands down, I have no fucking idea what is going on. I was so confused. And like, I understand short story collection, like, you're not gonna understand everything, that's fine. But this one was just like, at the end of it, I was like, what the fuck did I just read? I can't remember if it was the first one or the second. I think it was the first one. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. And then I read the second one, which was kind of meh. So I was just like, was not keen to continue. And I was doing a readathon. I was like, no, I could be using my time for something better than this. So I ended up just slopping out. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with anthologies. Like, I love the idea of anthologies and some of them are really, really incredible and I'd love to read them as like a full book. But then there's also a lot that I just don't enjoy. So it's a love-hate relationship with anthologies, and that one, because the first 2 like kind of knocked out with like a bit of a meh to me, I wasn't overly keen to continue, so I didn't. Then I DNF'd What We Devour by Lindsay Miller, and it was just another one. I was bored. I got a significant way through this. I think it was like, did I write it down? 252 pages out of, I don't even know how many it's got, hold on. 336, and I DNF'd at 252, so I only had 70 pages left. I was listening to this one on audiobook, and the audiobook was fine. It was actually really good narration-wise, but I was just bored, and it was predictable, and it was like the same shit, and I'm just like, I don't know. It just wasn't what I was expecting. And like, I've read Mask of Shadows by Lindsay Miller and really, really enjoyed it. I still haven't read Ruin of Stars, and I still haven't read Belle Revolt, which I actually started and DNF'd as well, now that I think about it. I only read like 50 pages of it though, and I DNF'd that one, so that's, I forgot about that. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. Oh, I have read The Game by Lindsay Miller and loved it, but it was a completely different genre. Like, generally she writes YA LGBT fantasy. The Game was a YA thriller, so completely different ballpark. But I did really enjoy that one. Those are the 4 books that I DNF'd in April. Haven't DNF'd anything so far in May. But yeah, so now I guess moving on to the TV shows, I guess, because I have been partaking in TV shows lately, which I haven't done in a while. I will find a TV show that's remotely interesting. I'll watch the first one and then either binge the entire thing in one night or one day, or I just will never go back to it. Like, I watched the first episode of Shadow and Bone, never went back to it. Granted, I was watching it with my ex, like, partner at the time, but ex now, and he was not for it, so we didn't end up continuing, like, together, and I just never went back to it myself. I need to do that though, because it was interesting. But yeah, that's just kind of how I roll when it comes to TV shows. Firstly, of course, I watched Heartstopper. I've watched it 3 times now. Absolutely loved it, adored it. I will probably rewatch it again. I also kind of just put it on in the background every now and then, like just random episode. I'll just like chuck it on in the background. Love it so much. It is incredible. So yeah, of course I watched that. And then I was like, I kind of want to keep watching it, but I also kind of want to find something that's similar. So I went onto a list of TV shows that were similar to Heartstopper. And like, no. Most of the ones on there, literally the only similarity is that there is a gay couple. Like, that was it. Like, there was no other actual similarities. So I ended up watching, was it Young Royals? Is that what it's called? Something Royals. But yeah, I ended up watching that one, which was on that list of ones to watch because of Heartstopper. And I loved it. Don't forget, I loved it, but I'll preface that by saying that. But that is nothing like Heartstopper. Because if I'm going to say, like, if I'm going to Google books that are similar to Heartstopper, I'm going for the vibe of the book, not a couple characteristics, if that makes any sense. Because, like, let's compare Heartstopper and Young Royals, because Heartstopper, gay couple, school setting, lovey vibes, feel good, school drama coming out, like, all of that. Lovey, yeah, just that vibe. Like, it's warm. That's the vibe. It's warm. There we go. That is the vibe. Then you look at the Young Royals. Yes, gay couple. Yes, somewhat school setting, more like boarding school type thing. That's it. That's where the similarities end. There is drugs, there is sex, there is angst, a lot of shit going on, there is death. It's a darker vibe. It is not the same vibe. And like, if I'm gonna go onto a list of TV shows similar to Heartstopper, I want that feel good, lovey-dovey, preferably diverse. That wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Did I get hooked? Yes, but that wasn't what I was looking for at the time. So if you have any recommendations that feel good, lovey-dovey Heartstopper, please let me know, because I need that. And then another one, after I binged that one, I literally binged Young Royals in one night. After I did that one, I ended up finding Degrassi Next Class. Oh my god, that was so stupid. Like, no offense to anyone that enjoys this, but like, what the fuck did I watch? I got like 65% through the first episode, and it got to the part where this chick was literally stuffing socks down her fucking jeans to make her ass look big because some bloke apparently likes asses. Are you dumb? Yeah, because there was already a couple bits that I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, yeah, not fan this. And then it got to that point and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I am done. And I stopped watching it. And then I ended up starting, this is completely unrelated to that trope, but I ended up starting Fate, the Winx saga. I ended up starting that one and I did really enjoy that one. That was cool. It was obviously fantasy, it's got, fairy type stuff. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that one, but obviously not the same vibes as Heartstopper, but I wasn't really going for that when I started that one. That was just one I found on Netflix. It wasn't part of any list that was related to Heartstopper, so that was fine. But yeah, really enjoyed that one. I like the characters, like interesting plot, like the world magic system, really enjoyable. So then after that one, and what I'm currently watching, which again, I binged part of it, but then haven't gone back to it. But yeah, then I started Cursed, which is actually based on a book that I own. I was planning on reading the book first, but I just haven't got around to doing it. But I'm now watching the TV show and I'm on episode 4 of season 1 and really enjoying it. It's quite interesting. It's kind of Witcher vibes, but like a female character. And I also enjoy that she's not perfect. Like, she didn't pick up sword skills instantly. Like, she was scared. Like, it was kind of more natural than Chosen One type trope. But yeah, so I've really enjoying that so far. But that is what I've been currently watching. So that was a little bit of a wild ride. I don't know what exactly I'm going to title this video. Things I've been doing lately, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will hopefully be posting a little bit more. So make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss out on me probably not posting more and just telling you guys I will. And maybe filming a vlog every now and then, because that's on brand. See yous.